What's up, everybody? It is Casey with Two Worlds Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Fat Man to my Jake. It's Jake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. This one went over my head.
So, I've never seen this show, but I've seen it referenced on Family Guy one time, and then I've also seen it at Walmart way back in the day on like DVD collection. It's like the whole series, Fat Man and Jake, and I
But
just was
I'm
like,
Fat Man.
yeah, just because I thought it'd be
Okay.
funnier to be like, I'm the Jake to his Fat Man, even though his name's Jake, and I'm fat. So.
Okay, first of all, you're not fat. Second of all, I just Googled it and I do kind of remember seeing this before.
I've never seen it, but I just
I
like I
well, I
said,
mean, I've seen like the DVD
I
cover.
gotcha.
Huh.
I think it's like a probably like a cop show.
What made you think of this?
It just popped in my head today, so I'm like, I have to use this.
Okay.
My brain's a weird place, buddy.
Man, this is just like the most random one, I think.
Yeah. Did you have a good Thanksgiving? Speaking of being random.
I did. Did you?
Yeah, wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Just I had three of them, so yeah, it was mom's side, dad's side's Bree's side.
Nice. Okay, rank them best to worst.
Oof. I'm not going to. I mean,
Yep, fair enough.
none of them are listening, but you know, it's still bad idea.
Right. I agree completely. I just wanted to see if you'd do it.
What about you, man? Did
uh
you just go to Brielle's or did you stay home?
no, so we both had work to where it wasn't convenient.
I gotcha.
So we just hung out on that day, and then Saturday we went to my sister's house with just my immediate family. So
Nice.
pretty good. Pretty
You sh
good.
you should have got one of those because I've always wanted to do this, but I just, I'm like I can't just buy myself a whole Thanksgiving dinner just for myself. But those Popeyes full Cajun style turkeys.
Dude, okay, so one of my buddies was telling me about that, and it was the first time I'd heard about it. Apparently, those sell out like immediately.
Oh, really? See, I always just see them advertised, but I'm not surprised because the stuff at Popeyes, it'd be selling out pretty quick. Like
Right.
people
I've
fight
never
over
had
it.
Popeyes. I hear it's very good. But yeah, I guess that those turkeys are like no joke, and they
Yeah,
go quick.
I bet they do, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this about Popeyes, and they don't pay me to say this, believe it or not, but it's my favorite fast food chicken place out there, even more than Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. I uh I do like me some Chick-fil-A quite a bit. And
Yeah,
Cane's. Cane's is really
never
good.
never had Canes, but Pope Yes is above Chick-fil-A. It's more than Kafka and more than Zaxby's.
I've never had Zaxby's.
I've had Zaxby's one time and it's like, this is fine. But would I get out of bed for Zaxby's? Absolutely not.
Nah.
If a Zaxby's was on fire, would I take a bucket of water there? No, I'm not a fireman. There's also this place in Evansville that's really good. It's called Taco John's and it's just like fried chicken tacos, which it's up there, but it's also like a specialty place. So I mean, it's still not as good as Pope Yes.
Man, okay, so the St. Louis listeners will know, but there's a place here that is one of my favorite places to eat. It's called Mission Taco, and they do a hot fried chicken taco that is just my favorite taco on the planet. It is delicious. And I expect all my St. Louis listeners who know what I'm talking about to text me and be like, yes, Mission Taco. Because if you
No,
don't like it, you're
don't
lying.
do not text him. Leave a comment down below.
Yes, yes, please log into YouTube and type yes, Mission Taco. But anyway,
Shoot.
we have already gotten off on a tangent, so let's get into our regular stuff here. First and foremost, we do have a YouTube comment from last week. Well, we actually have two. One's from Casey, though.
Yeah, I always try to help the algorithm.
Yeah. And Casey says, Mad Libs, more like silly libs. Am I right? You are right. The other one is from dear friend Preston. He says, "Hey, friends," in quotation marks. "Thanks for the kink call out, you jerks." He said, "First off, yes, Casey, I do watch My Hero, and Mirko is my favorite bunny girl of all time, especially after the first few episodes of this new season. She literally kicks so much ass."
Yep. I
I
mean, everyone agrees with you. I think that's awoken a lot of things in a lot of people this season.
He goes on to say, "I did a bit of searching for comic bunny characters, which I surprisingly knew little of, and wouldn't you know, something sexy did pop up. No, I didn't find it on DeviantArt, even though I'm sure she is in there as all things are. Batman's sexy bunny girl villain, White Rabbit, who looks 1000% like someone who would have an OnlyFans." Yeah, I forgot about White Rabbit.
Yeah.
He says, "My personal pick, if you want me to keep it furry, would be Tigra. Loved her in the latest Moon Knight run. Me too, Preston. Lastly, one that isn't a furry would be Death from Sandman, because I do love me a pretty goth lady." And again, I'll say fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, not bad picks.
Yeah, not bad picks at all. 10 out of 10, Preston.
I mean, I'm still disappointed that he didn't go with Captain Carrot, but whatever.
All right. And now we'll get into our news. I had just nothing.
Yeah.
So
It honestly, like even the stuff I have, it's for the most part, it's really nothing. Like I'm kind of saving what I'm saving for the last so we can have something to talk about because most is just gonna be like, cool, let's go to the next thing.
right. Which are the two items that I added today, super late. But because you do have several more than me, I will let you start us off.
Okay, so reportedly the first thing I saw, and this was like back when it was like Friday and we had nothing in the notes. So I was like, well, might as well add something. But Fifth Element 2 is supposedly in development. And the downside is there won't be a Bruce Willis. I guess the director got in Me Too trouble. I don't know what, but the article I read was like, with his recent Me Too trouble, he probably won't be, in on it. So it's like, I guess Lilu and Chris Tucker are gonna be the main parts in the Sixth Element. I don't know. It sounds like a really bad idea, though.
Didn't Bruce Willis retire? Didn't he have
Yeah,
health problems?
yeah. He has a issue with I think it's like reading comprehension now. So he just like something in his brain just doesn't put words together anymore. So he just can't be doing it. So it's like,
That's a shame.
yeah, you guys are like 5 years too late. It sounds on this movie. So
Right.
not
I
too
mean,
interested.
I would assume, Casey, that you like that movie.
Yeah,
And I do too.
that was
I
a
just
staple of my childhood.
right. Yeah. Lilu was a staple in my sexual awakening.
Oh, see, I had already seen Flintstones, so I was good there.
Well, right. And I mean, I had already seen Star Wars, but Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I
anyway.
know.
But yeah, I guess that'll just be
Okay,
something where like I'll see what it looks like when a trailer drops, you know what I mean? Like I'm not opposed to seeing this movie, whatever it may be. I just have to see what it looks like.
yeah, I mean, to me, it screams 100%, and maybe I'm not gonna be right, but it screams 100% Walmart exclusive, $5 bin, type thing, where it's like, this is not good.
Right. I could see that too.
All right, so Henry Cavill is set to reprise his Superman role in the new Aquaman, apparently. So it's gonna be a bit like a very bit part, probably like an after credit scene where he goes, "Boy, guys, there's this person in Kandak. He sure is mean." And like next time on the Justice League stuff.
And Aquaman goes, "My man."
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, Soups, good to see you. Let's skateboard."
Radical. But
uh,
with all that said, I still like Jason as Aquaman. It's fun, even if he
it's
is super radical.
it is fun. Yeah, I 100% agree. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is with him. I mean, he's not my first choice, but hey, at least he's having fun doing it. Like it could be worse. It could be like how he was when he was Conan, where it was like ultra serious and just nothing good about it.
Yeah.
But all right, so speaking of Henry, an online petition for him to come back as the Witcher has reached 25,000. Have these ever worked? Like, have they been like, oh, there's 25,000 people and one of them's named Buttmaster 69 420. We got to listen to this guy.
I don't know if it's ever worked, but my signature is on that petition. I'm not afraid to admit. Because it's not just to bring Henry back, it's to bring Henry back and to fire the writers.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for.
Yeah, I got you, man. I wonder if he'd come back. This is just me speculating. If he'd come back, if they're like, hey, you're also an executive producer on it now, and you get to help put the writers in, that you think would be best suited for it, type thing.
I would like to believe that he would.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, does he have the time?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'll talk about this. A lot of rumors are pointing to Hush as the villain in Batman 2. It makes sense. A lot of people are kind of saying like they're pointing to this moment also. Like there's rumors that are about that. Matt Reeves has brought Hush up at like different press things, and then there's actually a part where Riddler has written over this person's face that was a reporter reporting on the orphanage. Hush written over it, so everyone's like pointing to these different things as reasonings, and an insider has said that's who it's going to be. I don't think the script's been written yet, though. I think it's still far off, so I think it's still speculation. But like I said, it makes sense. People are mad that it's not going to be Freeze or Man Bat was another one they're wanting, but it's also like y'all wanted a serious, gritty, dark Batman that's realistic, and you don't get a guy with a freeze ray in a realistic Batman movie.
Yeah. I wasn't calling for a realistic Batman movie, but I was calling for both Freeze and Man Bat.
Yeah, but they don't work in the Reeves verse at all. So it's, I mean, I think it could work, but my main problem with the Hush character, and it's like one of those comics that I like, but when you introduce a character that's like, hey, I'm the main character's best friend that you've not ever seen in all of his continuity. I died, and now there's this new guy going around who's got a mask on. He's doing bad stuff. Hope it's not me.
So, spoiler alert for Batman Hush.
For a comic that's over 20 years.
I know. I'm just teasing.
But dude, there was a like, because that's one thing. Like the DC animated verse was like, hey, this iconic story that everyone knows, the big twist, like we're gonna do our own twist on it and change it up. And they did, and they made it 1,000 times worse.
Who was it in the animated one?
Spoiler alert for the animated Hush movie, since this is a little bit, this is a little bit newer. So just fast forward 30 seconds because I'm long-winded, but it's Riddler, and like he gets Lazarus, the Lazarus pit, and like amps him up, and like there's a big fight scene between Batman and Riddler that has the fate of Gotham at the fucking end of it. It's so gosh darn stupid.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, and it's like The Long Halloween is another one that the animated things did. So, the animation, it's bad anyway, but then it's also like they're like, we got to tweak this perfect Batman story up a little bit, just make it our own. And it's like, you don't have to. Like,
so they changed who did it in that too.
They changed it up couldn't make it through it because they change up enough. They're like, Batman's very stupid. Catwoman's better than him. She knows he's Batman. The Batman too stupid to pick up that Selena is also Catwoman. And it's just like they made Batman such a dope and so bad at his job, and it's like more of a Catwoman movie as far as like the awesome stuff Catwoman can do. And she's like, Bruce, I know you're Batman, you big dumb idiot. And he's like, I'm not Batman.
Just sweating profusely.
Yeah. It's like, Bruce, you're wearing your bat suit with no mask on. He's like, I don't know how this happened. Which it's surprising that Tim Sheridan wrote it, because like I'm pretty high on him for most stuff, but it's just like, dude, you could have just did a much better job.
Come on, T-shares.
Yeah. Okay. Frank Miller is going to adapt Corto Maltese into a limited series for Studio Canal. a lot of people on Twitter that have read Court Maltese are not happy about this because they've seen the spirit. So, you know, it is what it is. It's supposed to be a very iconic book. I've never read it personally, but I don't know how. I mean, I know Frank Miller's a name, but I don't know how he's getting stuff to do that way because that's a bit weird that he's able to be like, I'm gonna, get to do that whatever I want basically, and people are gonna pay me lots of money.
Well, I don't know about the people paying him lots of money part, but for him to do this, I think he gets the money from his con appearances where he's like $500 a signature. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
but still,
But
I mean, he's
anyway,
getting paid to write this thing, and it's like,
yeah.
how have you seen any of the comics he's made recently? I mean, like
I
someone
mean,
on
I have.
yeah, someone on Twitter was like, it's so crazy to me that Frank Miller made one of the best year ones and one of the worst year ones, and they had Batman year one and Superman year one.
Yeah. I think I've said this before, but I really do stand by Batman Year One as being like one of the best Batman stories ever. It's really good.
Yeah, no, I mean it's always like telling that like these different Hollywood projects or whatever steal stuff from these different comics. So it's like when you go, oh yeah, I really like Batman Year One. It's like, well, no, duh, it's amazing. Same with Long Halloween, and it's like there's a reason why these celebrities are stealing from these ones specifically. It's not
Yeah.
like they're going, oh man, what's that issue of Batman where he's got multiple clones that are all different colors of him? I want to put that in my book.
or gosh, the Widening Gyre where Batman pisses himself. That's the
Yeah.
one I want to do.
Or it's like, the death in the family. Like, oh yeah, the really dark story where Batman beats Jason with a crowbar. Like, no, no, not that part. Where Joker is the Iran sympathizer. That's what I want to talk about.
Look, there's a Batman comic for
Yeah.
everybody.
Okay, so
Hold on, let me get my bad ones out of the way because I think all the rest of yours are way more interesting than mine.
okay, man.
So, uh, well, this one, the one of mine is to go with your other one, so I'll do this one. But Patsy Walker Hellcat is getting a 5-issue miniseries in 2023 by writer Christopher Cantwell and artist Alex Linz. So Casey is the resident Patsy Walker Hellcat fan. Are you excited for a miniseries?
I'm very excited for a miniseries. Christopher Cantwell. I know the name, but I can't place him.
He just did the most recent Iron Man run.
Okay, I wanted to read that. So,
So, and
but
Patsy's like heavily involved in that
that's
too.
why I wanted to read that. So yeah, I'm very excited. I love me some Patsy. Should be pretty cool. Nice to see her again. It's gonna be better than the last series, which was a letdown.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll talk about Shazam 2 really quick because it's just a very brief thing. But I saw a thing today where it's confirmed Shazam 2 is going to have two major villains that weren't ever in the comics. So this making this the first DC movie that just basically has two non-comic book villains in it, which it's like, oh yeah, DC Comics, the place that doesn't have its own villains. Good thing you got to make your own. Not
Well, I
necessarily.
mean, I kind of felt that way anyway because it's like Helen Mirren, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like we kind of knew that going in.
I know, but I mean, still, like, there's plenty of people, plenty of characters. You could just been like, let's make this person the villain instead of just being like, I'm just gonna make up my own thing because I know better than the DC comics that have been around since before I was born.
Yeah,
I'm a little salty. What can I say?
that I get it.
Okay, so James Gunn revealed on Mastodon, still not on there yet, that Booster Gold was the most requested character to be brought in to the DC universe
So
movies.
first off, what is Mastodon?
It is another social media website that people are using instead of Twitter. So it's like that and Hive, I think, are the two because everyone like 2 weeks ago when people were like, Twitter's dead. we're not coming back here. Let's show our boobs. And like that was the big, talk on Twitter. And then, everyone was like, oh, we're still here. Shit.
I gotcha. Well, I think that's pretty neat that Booster was the most requested. My question is, it's like, was he the most requested on Mastodon? So is that like a group of 30 people and he's the most
Probably.
requested? Okay, because it's like, well, really, depending on the context, it doesn't mean too much. Like, yeah, obviously you and I both want Booster Gold, but I'm curious how many people that were pulled for that.
Yeah. But I mean, they've got if you think about it though, there's been so many people, no, so many characters have already shown up one way or the other in the DC universe. So then they're kind of like, scraping the bottom of the barrel anyway. So when someone says a new one, it's like, oh, I want Black Canary, and they're like, oh, already there. Okay, Deathstroke, already there. Um, Cyclone, already here. Booster Gold. And they're like, sure.
Well, speaking of James Gunn, my other bit of news. So he said that he and Safran, however you
Yeah.
say it, plan to have all of the movies, shows, and animation be connected, which is something that Casey and I have been complaining about on this show since we've been on this show.
Yeah.
So I really hope that that works out, that they're able to either weave what's already there like together, or just, I don't know, make what is coming out fit in with that stuff. However they do it, I'm just glad that it's happening.
I'll be honest, I'm not the most positive about it working, because it's like it's very much an uphill battle at this point, and they don't like, you can already tell Disney's killing the superhero side of things. Like they're making it so people are getting tired of it by doing 50 TV shows and all these movies, and it's like, oh, you gotta watch all of them, and like the fans are getting to the point where they're like, we don't want to. So I don't like, I think this might, like we were always saying, like as nerds we want this to be the thing, but at the same time I don't think the regular folks want this. I don't know if it's the best idea.
Well, I'm just gonna stick by what I said and be excited for it, and we'll see how
i'm
it turns out.
I'm excited. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying, not sure it's gonna work.
Yeah. Well, at least they'll try.
Yeah,
It's better than just, saying fuck you to everything that's out there.
yeah. Okay, so Legendary and WB part ways. Legendary is now partnering with Sony to be their distributor, but with like they still have some, like Legendary still has a contract with Warner Brothers for the stuff that's already out. So I'm assuming Dune is still gonna be Warner Brothers and Legendary. And the Monsterverse for sure is going to be Legendary and WB. So we do not get to see the Morbius Godzilla crossover we've been dying for.
That is a shame.
But I mean,
I feel like that's kind of big news, right?
I think so. What I'm really curious about, because I don't know how this works. So if you are below and you go, oh, hey, I know everything, and you want to explain it to me, awesome. But how do the video game stuff works? Because how cool would it be if we could get like Sony teaming up with Toho to make Godzilla movies?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Or like even any of these, I don't know what other stuff Legendary is doing right now, but like more video game add-on type stuff, that would just be really sweet to me. But I don't really know how that works. And then speaking of MonsterVerse, Madison Russell will not appear in Godzilla and Kong. Madison Russell was Millie Bobby Brown's character.
My
And
favorite hedgehog.
yep. And not a fan of her character, because it's like on like the 50th viewing of King of the Monsters, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I was like watching it and I'm like, man, she gets off scot-free, and she was responsible, just as responsible as her mom, for murder, like all of these people dying. That's 100% on her. And then like in the next one, she's like, I'm looking for Godzilla. I got no trouble. And it's like, man, I hope they'd say like you got shot off camera.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
they need that pull that MBB has, man.
Yeah. I mean, I like that they're not keeping it because it's like if this is getting more and more like later Showa era movies where it's like sillier and more just fun, and they're like, we can just get random people. Hell, we can cast the same people as just different people. Who cares, you know?
Right.
So yeah, maybe she'll pop up again as someone not named Madison Russell. We'll see.
It'll be Addison Tussle.
There we go. Okay, and then I think my last bit of news before, yeah. So Titanic Creations, they are a toy company that I've been following for like a little bit. I actually bought one of their things. I have it sitting right next to me. I'll show you here in a bit. But they have signed an exclusive deal to make Gorgo toys. Gorgo was this Godzilla ripoff. I want to say he was in the 70s or 60s. He was, again, I've not seen the movie, so a lot of it's coming to me just from off the top of my head, but I think he was a British kaiju that was a ripoff of Godzilla, basically. And they're going to continue the Gorgo story in a graphic novel in 2024. And they're going to try to explore the Gorgo story even more with an animated film. And Titanic Creations, for those that don't know, they make Titanicus.
Nice.
So this guy sunk the old Titanic because he's just sleeping, and then it's like, oh, you woke me
Ah,
up, and then he kills him.
that
Like that,
sounds awesome.
yeah. Like it comes with like a little when you buy this one, it comes like a little book that does his little story, and I think the other ones do too. They have like
Oh, so it's
two.
not a movie?
No, it's a comic book that comes with Titanicus when you buy them. And then they have like two other guys that I just haven't got yet. And then they're actually coming out with a graphic novel in 2023 for just their backstory of like their different monsters coming at each other, which I'm pretty pumped for. And this Gorgo, it's like kind of got me excited for the Gorgo. Like I want to buy the Gorgo movie off Amazon now and watch it. So I'm very interested in this. I like this toy company, and they're even coming out with a newer Titanicus that's more like the SH Monster Arts, more articulation than this guy. Because this guy right now, he's it's like the main reason why I haven't got the other ones is because there's not much to this guy. I mean, he looks cool in my opinion, but it's like not much to him. And I think he was $50.
Hmm.
But it's like kind of an indie company. So I'm like, I don't feel as bad, but it's also like I don't want to buy two more of these figures
Right.
that you don't have like a graphic novel with it for me to be like, oh, this is a lot cooler now versus just be like, here's our guy. He sunk the Titanic, you know.
I'll say that the Gorgo looks pretty cool.
It does. And like I said, I want to see it. I've never seen it, so I can't speak to it, but the story sounds interesting. Sounds like a fun creature feature type movie.
Also, I'm just looking around on the Titanic Creations website, and Nosferadon looks super cool.
It does. I think that's the good guy of the bunch. I think Titanicus is the
Oh,
bad
really?
is the
Really?
baddie.
He's not the good guy?
Yeah. So
Oh, that's funny.
okay. And my last bit of news, it is a from a Mark Wade Facebook post. I thought this was really interesting. Some of you might know, but the other day when I was talking about World's Finest, it's like, I know this story matters. This guy, he probably dies because he's not in these books now. And then Mark Wade's like, Casey, you ignorant slut. Uh, you're wrong. You're speaking out your ass. But this is his actual post. I'm thrilled at all the positive feedback on World's Finest, especially on the current storyline featuring an untold tale of when Superman had his own sidekick. But even though I have said more than once that he's actually a character DC fans are already quite familiar with, I cannot believe that no one, not even Casey, has yet guessed who that sidekick grows up to be. You have 3 weeks before issue 10's reveal. And so then I had the idea of like I was looking online today and trying to come up with different things of different people that it could be. So like one of my ideas was well, actually I'll talk about the idea that most people are saying online is Mon-El, which I don't think Mon-El anyway, because his powers are way
Do
different.
you want me to bring this
Yeah,
up?
let you bring it up now and you can look at old Mon-El so the people watching on YouTube can look at these different people. But yeah, I don't think there's any way. For those that don't know who Mon-El is, he's a Daxamite who uh Superman he has Superman type powers. He like basically has a lead allergy. So then, that's his only real difference to Superman. He got put in the Phantom Zone and he came out with the Legion. That's Mon-El in a bit. So I don't think it could be Mon-El. And plus, me and Jake were talking before. Mark Waid loves the DC characters too much to drastically change Mon-El that much to, in my opinion. I could be wrong. But then one that I was thinking it could be going the Mon-El route could be Chris Kent, who was also Nightwing for a bit. And before that he was
The Kryptonian Nightwing.
yes, not the caked up Nightwing, but he would have been Zod and Zod's lady's kid pre New 52, had him in the Phantom Zone. He had wonky Phantom Zone like powers. He escaped. It was very mysterious on all that stuff. And this kid, he's kind of a mysterious kid. I still don't think it's him. I think the powers are too different.
Super cool costume, by the way.
Yes, super cool costume. I always really liked him. It was really disappointing that he kind of got retconned out of existence because then when Rebirth happened, they had a kid that wasn't Chris Kent and he was kind of a douche. Then I was thinking, I saw the Ray, and there's lots of different Ray, and there's been so many different Rays, and they've always tried to make the Ray a big deal. If you remember, like huge, they always tried all this different stuff, put him in a lot of different stuff in the 90s, and just never, it always fizzles out.
Even in Rebirth, man, he
Yeah,
had a Justice League special.
New 52, he had his own mini series. Nothing happened. So I think it could really be the Ray because this is like right up the Ray's alley where they're like building up a new character and they're like, it's just the Ray. We'll drop it in a month. And then the two that are like more weird would be Quanto. So like I never heard anything about this character until I was looking stuff up today. But he was it's like as it says, an obscure Legion of Superheroes enemy, obscure, Mark Waid's alley. He's from like this alternate this other reality type thing that energy based, so he could change how he looks and he can shoot all these different things. So it's like all these little things kind of make you go, but at the same time, the only problem with Quanto, it's like it's the big reveal. He's Quanto, and everyone's gonna be like, "Who?"
There'll be one guy that's like, I knew it.
That one guy is Mark Waid. Okay, and then the last one, it's Dr. Spectro. This is another one of those things. I mean, that looks awesome, but this is another one of those things where it's like, who? I mean, I was trying to think of villains that it could be, and I found this guy and I found Quanto as like the two villains because it's like it makes sense with especially how the last issue ended with Joker, taking the guy and doing that stuff. So it's like I could see it being a villain. I don't know who. Someone said it could be Atomic Skull, but I'm like, I don't know about that. But
I want it to be Dr. Spectro because how awesome is this picture?
right? I mean, is that if it is Dr. Spectro, would you cosplay as that?
I'll declare it right here. If it is Dr. Spectro, I will cosplay it. Yeah.
Mark Wade's listening to this right now. He's like, yes. But no, my money out of all of these, it would probably be the Ray, personally, because it just seems like that's. But I'm probably wrong on all of it. So what do you think though? Is there any of these that speaks to you besides Dr. Spectro? And do you have like a idea who else I wasn't thinking of that could be?
I can't think of anyone else with the right powers. Yeah, I don't know. He says big reveal, but then he says nobody's guessed it. So it's like it really can't be that big.
Yeah.
Because let's be real. some of those absolute dweebs on the internet would have guessed it by now.
Yeah, but maybe Mark's just like I ignore a lot of these absolute dweebs on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he does. I I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool if it was somebody like Quanto,
Yeah.
just obscure random villain
And I think oh, and another one, and because I don't quite 100% understand Boy Thunder's power. That's his name, right?
from the Legion.
No, no, this the Superman sidekick, Boy Thunder.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, but like I don't quite 100% understand his powers, but could it be Lightning Lad? That's the kid from the Legion.
Yeah.
Could be him. That's another one that I was tossing around
Now
my.
that would be a decently big reveal because Lightning Lad is one of the bigger Legionnaires.
Yeah, and I know Mark. I'm on the first name basis with him. I know Mark does love the Legion, so that seems plausible too. But again, I don't know how well those two how the powers really coincide. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I'm interested though.
Yeah.
It I'm glad that you brought all this up because it made it a lot more fun.
Yeah, and people down below, just let us know who you think it could be. If there's something that we're kind of bypassing over, that maybe you're like it's Static Shock, and we'll be like, "Ooh, that can't be right."
That can't be
Um,
right. And
um,
also, if you're not reading World's Finest, what are you doing?
yeah, it's one of the best comics out right now, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
easily.
And I don't know, try to tell me some more villains that it could be, because I'm leaning heavy on the villain idea.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one other one. I just remember that people were saying that it could be, but it's just too much of a cop out. It's Mr. Mixplick.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
It would be, but at the same time, I'm like, I could see it. I just don't want it to be.
Yeah. Especially with the poses they chose. I could see that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of the news. So we're gonna take our ad break and then we'll review some comics. So we'll be right back. All right. So I did have a little story from like an annoying customer I had this week. And then if there's anything else that you had in mind, we can go there.
I got the Godzilla libs, so I'm gonna get up and grab them really quick, and I'm just got my headphones on so I can still hear you.
Okay. So this guy came in and he said that he collects all things Star Wars The High Republic. That's like the only thing he collects, which is fine. I can respect uh going for something obtainable, I'll say. That doesn't have so much out there that it's overwhelming. But where it took a turn is when he's like, I've read all the novels are great, but there's some stuff you can only get in the comic form. So uh I came in to find the comic stuff. Because like the thing is like there's just not much story to comics. There's not a lot of storytelling. It's just like pictures to look at. And then he was like, you know what I mean? And I was like, honestly, no, not really. Like,
Yeah.
definitely comics is a storytelling medium. It's not just picture books. Like, I don't know.
It's
I
them
just,
funny books.
right. I get a lot of people that just don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about when it comes to comics and want to come in and tell me what the comics industry is. It's like you're wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not even close. But I mean, if you don't know, instead of saying you know what I mean, you could say, am I correct in that? Or am I just like way off? You know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah.
say something, but then be like, am I an idiot or not? But man, this guy was confident that comics were just not a good storytelling medium, and it just cracked me up.
Yeah, that is pretty dumb. It's like, yeah, you know, like that storytelling medium that has Mouse and Watchmen and these other things that, have won multiple major awards. Terrible storytelling shit.
And it's like, okay, you're gonna judge the whole comics industry but then be like the one thing that you do is Star Wars The High Republic. It's like, dude, I mean, there are infinitely better Star Wars stories that you could choose over that. It's
Yeah, right.
like why are you on a high horse when the thing you collect is a year old? I
Is,
don't know.
as the kids say, mid.
Yes, mid for sure. And I can say that because I read several issues before it became so mid that I just, didn't want to read it anymore.
Yeah.
So, anyway, just a fun, annoying customer story for you.
I haven't had one of those in a day or two.
I know.
And that guy's listening right now. He goes, I thought podcasts were the best medium. Not anymore.
Good. We don't want you.
That's not true.
That's not
We,
true. We
I,
desperately want you.
yeah, desperately. We'll take it back. Comics suck. Books are the best. Okay, man. So I don't have a pen with me, so I'm doing it on my phone. So we will see how this goes.
Okay.
Okay. Something alive, plural.
Ooh, okay. Um, maggots.
Ooh, gross. Plural noun.
Armpits.
Number.
420.
Okay. First name.
Hmm. Bartholomew.
I suck at spelling, so this will be fun. Thank you, autofill. A place.
Atlantis.
Adjective.
Hmm. Sweaty.
Adjective.
Hard.
Ooh, this is gonna be sexy. Type of food.
Um, fried chicken tacos.
Ooh. Okay, adverb.
Hmm. Hurriedly.
Hurriedly.
Yes.
Okay. City.
Hmm. Metropolis.
Type of building.
Log cabin.
All those log cabins in Metropolis, Atlantis. Adjective.
um, young.
Verb ending in ing.
Humping.
Plural noun.
um, vibrators. We gotta make some childish.
Yeah. Noun.
Um, kitten.
Part of the body. Plural.
Ooh. Mm. Man, we better go balls, right?
I was gonna be disappointed if you didn't. Verb.
um, stroke.
Nice. I like how it starts off normal, like kind of weird, to
We're
just
just super horny.
yeah. It's like talking about all these armpit and maggots really got me going. Okay. Kaiju are part of a special class of monster. They're more than just your average maggots. In Japanese, kaiju translates roughly into strange armpits. Kaiju can be up to 420 times larger than a Tyrannus Bartholomew. You can find them on land in the Atlantis and even in sweaty space. Kaiju can be amphibious creatures, mechanical creatures, or hard creatures. Although some kaijus are peaceful, most are fierce predators with a taste for red fried chicken tacos. Kaiju's favorite hunting grounds include hurriedly populated cities like Metropolis. When destroying log cabins, kaijus use their young strength and special powers like humping. Kaiju are also territorial, and if they encounter each other, will vibrators to death. Wait,
what?
humping. I must have missed a verb. No? What the hell? Oh no, I did miss a verb. Give me another verb.
Puke.
Will kaiju are territorial, and if they encounter each other, will puke to the death. When fighting each other, kaiju won't hesitate to knock over any vibrators in their way. If you see a kaiju, don't just stand by and watch as if a nature documentary on kittens planet is unfolding in front of you. Balls in front of your balls. Instead, drop everything and stroke.
Dude,
oh shit.
Is that Godzilla?
That's alive. Look at me. Oh shit.
Okay, well, that got pretty interesting by the end.
The last part was about perfect. I don't think any other thing would have worked there.
Dang. Mad Libs are fun.
They are.
All right, folks, welcome back. On the YouTube channel this week, I have a fun, annoying customer story. I know it's been a little while since I've had one of those. And then Casey asks me about a Godzilla Mad Lib. So we're mixing it up a little bit. It was super fun. Check it out on the YouTube. That's Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.
And, just do it.
Yeah.
What'd you read this week, man?
So I read Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise 1, Hitomi 2, Detective Comics 1066, Bloodborne Lady of Lanterns 3, Immortal Red Sonja 8, Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man 2, DC versus Vampires 11, Midnight Suns 3, Daredevil 5, and Action Comics 1049.
So I read 8 Billion Genies, number 6. What's the Furthest Place from Here, number 8. Detective Comics 1066. Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise. Hitomi, number 2. Daredevil, number 5. Action Comics 1049. I'll let you go first because I think you've got like 4 more than me.
All right. I'll just knock out a couple real quick.
That's what I say when I see people happy at the park.
Oh, okay. So DC versus Vampires 11. It's written by James Tynan and Rosenberg with Otto Schmidt on the art. I like this book. The problem is like the last few I think have been the best, but now there's only one more issue. And it's like I wish that we would have just had this the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
because we both liked it at first, and then you fell off of it. You fell off, bro. And then I stuck with it and it got pretty good again. So I don't know. Weird pacing, I guess, but it's cool to see all these characters show up. Um, you know, Green Arrow, Swamp Thing, and Grifter are breaking humans out of like a feeding place, which is pretty cool. Then all the Bat families in Gotham, uh, then Steel and Lobo and a couple others are fighting Miss Martian and Martian Manhunter. Like there's lots of cool stuff going on. It's just like, dang, all this is happening, and now it's all just gonna end the next issue.
Is it gonna actually end, or is it gonna be kind of like a deceased type of thing where it's like, well, this one ended, but guess what? We're still going. Or do you have any idea?
I don't have any idea. I I don't know. I mean, I would rather it just have a cool ending and like be done, but I don't know. I don't know. Either way, it's pretty cool. Obviously, Otto Schmidt's art is always just amazing. And I will give it like an 8.5.
I think it's kind of funny that like there's some books that are like very important books, like the Dark Crisis book, and like you start off, you're like, yeah, I actually am liking it, and but then you just out of nowhere just drop it, and like this one, we're both agreeing like this is so stupid. Like you kept on longer than me, but you're like not a fan of this, but then you're like, it must just be coming out at the perfect time where there's nothing else coming out that you're like, might as well, and you're like, well, this is actually getting good again. What the hell?
Well, that's not really true. The difference is like there's four DC major events every year, and it's not really
Yeah,
gonna matter. Like a DC vampires book.
this is setting up something big.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like it's so different, and it's stuff that it like.
Yeah,
I like vampires. I like DC. I'm gonna stick with it for the maxi series to hope that it ends well. Where it's like I'll catch the next DC event, which I will because I think Lazarus Planet could be really cool.
yeah. I
It's
just
just
hate.
one of those.
I do hate that though. Just to be on that subject where it's like Dark Crisis, everything's gonna change, and like we're already getting advertisements for Lazarus Planet. Nothing will be the same.
Right, which is gonna go into Dawn of DC, it's just
Yeah,
like whatever. But I like vampires, so
I
that's why I
gotcha.
stuck with it. All right, and then Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man #2. It's written by Taboo and B. Earl with Juan Ferreira on the art. It's so cool. I man, the art, Juan Ferreira's art is so cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you get like a nightmarish Spider-Man. You get Demon Bear. Demon Bear is communicating to Spider-Man through like mental like emojis basically because Demon Bear can't really talk. And then there's just a lot of is it a dream? Is it not a dream? And at the end, Peter, spoiler alert, gets sort of infused with this magical rock in his chest that kind of takes place of his heart. So essentially, Demon Bear shows up and tells Peter, uh, "This experiment that you're doing with this lady friend of yours is kind of like opening a rift between, you know, Demon Bear world and the real world, and you have to figure it out, or either everyone's nightmares are going to break out into the real world, or you're going to like be in a living nightmare until you just like die of insanity." And so now Peter has to figure out how to stop that from happening. So I think it's really neat. It's definitely the best Spider-Man story I've read in quite some time. So I'm going to give it a 9. I really like it. And also, who'd have thought that I'd have liked, Taboo and B Earl as much as I have? But I
I
mean,
know,
they're
right?
they're putting out some good stuff. So
Like next time Taboo's doing it, you're gonna be like, it's crazy. So as I was reading this, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put on some Black Eyed Peas while I'm listening to this, and it enhanced my experience tenfold.
Hey, maybe everybody has one Black Eyed Peas song that they like.
Where's the love? You know,
See, everyone's got one.
actually, I don't really like that one, but that was the first one that came to my old noggin.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll talk about 8 Billion Genies by Charlie Soule and Ryan Brown. Not the Ryan Brown we went to high school with, I hope. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. This book suffered from a I'll say like weird scheduling. Like we had like 3 issues that came out pretty close together. Then it was like, oh, we're taking a break. And it doesn't work the best for this type of story. And so like the amount of caring I have for it has gone down more and more. And so while I was reading this one, I was like, boy, I'm losing interest. Like I was losing interest last week, losing interest this week. The art in it's fine, but the story is not grabbing me like it was. It peaked at like issue 2, which is not something you want from an 8 issue series, you know?
Are you gonna stick it out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 2 issues out. It'd be asinine for me to be like, I'm gonna read all 50 issues of Immortal Hulk, even go out of my way to buy one digitally so I could still read it before, since Jake didn't get it in because Diamond sucked at their job. I need to read this for the podcast. And then be like, 8 issues is too many for me because it might still end up being really good. I have a feeling that everything's going to revert back to normal at the end. That's my theory, and I want to make sure if I'm right or not. But yeah, it's still just not doing it for me. Like it really isn't. So I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 10. I'm hoping for an upswing though.
Me too. And hey, on the bright side, if it got options, so if it works out, you can sell
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
All right. So we've got Immortal Red Sonja #8. It's written by Dan Abnett with Luca Calandria on the art. Yeah, so the bad guy comes back, Mordred or whatever, and essentially pulls a Sauron where he's like, I'm not strong enough yet. I gotta leave and like gather power or whatever. So he leaves. And that leaves Sonja with Merlin. And they're like, crap, what do we do? Like, we're never gonna find him. He's a shapeshifter. He's just gonna go hide and store power till he's powerful enough to, put us all under his control. Then they go outside and find the Green Knight, and the Green Knight is like, well, all of nature talks to me because I'm a magical Green Knight. I can tell you where he's going. We just have to find that. And then it turns out the only thing that can defeat Mordred is the special Excalibur that they're not calling Excalibur, but that they don't know where it is. So it's like one of two problems kind of solved. But man, I like the art, like the design's cool. It's kind of got a Daniel Warren Johnson kind of vibe to it,
Yeah, it's really nice.
which is a good thing. So yeah. Oh, also Merlin gives up the last of his powers to heal Lancelot to bring him back to life. So they kind of have a band together. Now they just have to get the magic sword and beat the bad guy. So I like it. I like this. This isn't like, most Sony series are mini series and they wrap up pretty quick and it's like, oh, see you in the next one. But this one's going, I mean, this is the 8th issue and there's clearly still lots to be done. So I like it a lot.
Right.
Um, so yeah, 9 out of 10.
Nice. Okay. Next up for me, it's going to be What's the Furthest Place from Here, issue 8. And this is by Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg are on the writing duties with Ricardo Lopez Ortiz doing the actual art. So we get different art, and this is like an out of nowhere story, completely different than what we had been reading, which it's like not my favorite, especially since I don't remember when the last time this book came out. So like I'm like, man, did I miss something? So that's not my favorite, but they're doing this other stuff. And then it's like how this new house got made. And like at the same time, it started off with me going like, oh, man, I don't know what the hell's going on, to me going like, holy crap, this is so gosh darn good. I love it so much. The art and it's different than Tyler Boss's art, but it's still really, really cool, different, but it works. The story itself, it's just captivating as all hell. Like I said, absolutely loved it. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. If you want a fun hipstery book to read to feel cool at when you go to your favorite comic book shop, fantasy shop, you just pick this up and talk to them about it. They'll like you automatically, probably.
Wow.
Or if you
Glad
want
you
to go
like
to
it.
or if you want to go to comic headquarters and like wait till Mike is there, he'd at least pretend to have read it because he needs the cool cred points.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Oh, so did you say pick of the week or no?
Yeah, that would be my pick of the week for
Okay,
sure.
nice. Next up, Bloodborne, Lady of the Lanterns, number 3, written by Cullen Bunn and art by Peter Kowalski. And this was a fun issue that I wasn't expecting. I don't know if you remember, Casey, but like the first issue, I talk about how the hunter goes to that house where the two kids are there, and they're like, "Our dad went out for food, and he hasn't come back."
Mm-hmm.
This issue is all about the dad. He
Oh,
did
cool.
come back. Unfortunately, all that crazy shit happened, and his kids aren't there anymore. But we kind of see what happened to him. He was kind of a coward and waited way too long to like let the monsters and the plague and all that stuff kind of go by, but they didn't go by. It's all still happening. He runs into a hunter and tells him a sob story, and the hunter helps him find some courage to help out another family that's getting killed by this big monster. And he delivers the final blow to the monster, and he's laying there dying, and his son comes up to him. I don't know where from, kind of random, but whatever. And the son's like, "Thanks for coming back, Dad. I'm proud of you. You're a brave man." So that the dad can die happy.
The dad's like,
And
I'm
then
fucking dying. He's like, "Bleh," coughs up blood.
but then that hunter finds a couple other hunters, and it says to be continued. And there's only one more issue, so I guess this band of hunters is gonna either kill or get killed by the Lady of the Lanterns and all the monsters. So
It's just like a whole thing of like a really uncomfortable, like them just beating up this lady, like for the
and
whole
she's
issue.
like, "I'm not the Lady of the Lanterns."
Like, let's tie horses to each of our limbs and take off.
Anyway, really good book. I'm really liking the miniseries, so I'll give it an 8.5.
Nice, man. Okay. Do you have any books left?
Nope.
Solos? Okay. What order do you want to read these in?
Um, let's do Midnight Suns.
Oh, I don't have Midnight Suns. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's do Detective, uh, Doctor Strange, Hitomi, Daredevil action. Okay. Midnight Suns. I gotta point out the David Nakayama cover with magic. He makes her
Ooh.
look real pretty. But anyway, it's written by Ethan Sachs with art by Luigi Zagaria. It's okay. It's just like a lot of fighting. Um, and then, spoiler alert, at the end, they find a different universe as Sorcerer Supreme, and it's Tony Stark. And yeah, Agatha gets possessed by an evil spirit. And then Tony Stark, Sorcerer Supreme, forges all of them this super cool, like black and red weapons and armor. And God, magic looks so good, but all of them look so good.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can't go wrong with black and red.
Yeah,
Always looks cool.
it does. And the coolest part is like, I'm reading this issue. I'm like, I don't like Magic's gold costume, the new gold. I don't like it. Every time she's on panel, I'm like, I just don't like the costume. And then at the end, we get this new black and red one. I'm like, all right, this I can get behind.
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Ayo. So yeah, like story's fine. And I can't believe I'm complaining about this, but like it's just a lot of like filler fights. But it's just like all of like each of them gets a panel of them like yeah at a demon. There's
Yeah.
I want I want to see where this is going. I want some more substance, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 7 out of 10.
I gotcha. Okay. We will start with DC's Detective Comics 1066. And this is by Ram V and Ivan Rice on the pencils. And then we got I think it's, who did the backup story? I'll talk about, mention that.
Old Cy
It's Cy
Spurrier.
Spurrier with Hayden Sherman on the art. But what do you think of this series as a whole, or this issue as a whole?
Well, I didn't read the backup, but
I had trouble getting into it. Has that like other like the I like seeing stuff with old Harv, but I don't care about this weird shirtless dude that's on top of him.
I know what you mean. I'll say this though, like the main story I like. I like the Gordon stuff. I think Ivan Reese knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
I mean, normally we get Raphael Albuquerque, but I like several panels. I was like, oh man, this is a really good panel.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that several times. Also, I always like it when we get a Mr. Freeze appearance. So that was fun too. Yeah, I like it. I like the Harvey stuff. Everything about it, I think, is just a good old Batman time.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of turning me on it because I wasn't super hot on this issue, if I'm being honest. I'm just kind of getting tired of the whole like, I mean, if I want to read a poor, and then poor, I mean, not having much money Batman story, I'll read Daredevil. We part of what makes Batman fun is like, he's just got tons of money, and it's more, he has to find he still has these insane problems he has to deal with. Money helps. And with this, it's just be like, nah, he's old and he's broken. We've never heard this story before, except, every 5 years. So it's like a little frustrating. It's just kind of a little annoying that way where it's like the stuff that's interesting to me is like the stuff with Harvey in this, like the stuff that Ram's doing with Harvey, where Harvey's like actually Harvey doing evil, shitty things. That's new. And I think that's really cool. I'm excited to see where that goes. But the Batman stuff outside of the art, I can kind of just I give or take.
Well, what's changed? Because you've been pretty high on all the other issues.
I mean, that's always been kind of my gripe, and it just keeps going on and on. Same stuff where it's just like, look at this old Bruce Wayne. He's only a millionaire now, not a billionaire like me. Like that's what the new guy is kind of talking about. It's like, hey, he's kind of fell down the ropes a little bit. He still has more money than anyone reading this will have, but oh, boy, he's poor. And it's just, I don't know. It's just not as it's just more annoying than anything else that they're like trying to play up like Bruce doesn't have hardly any money, but he still has enough money for a jet.
There goes old Bruce Wayne in
Poor
his
guy.
private jet.
Poor guy's slumming it. He he had to walk through the airport today to his private jet. Normally he could pay extra and just go around everything, but shit. Poor fella.
Well, I'm still digging it, and I thought the art was a real treat, so I'm gonna give it
Mm-hmm.
an 8.
Probably at a 7. I still like it. Ramby's still really good. And it like I'm complaining a lot, but it's still like it's still better than most of the stuff out there because Ramfy's very talented.
And also better than the core Batman title right now.
That's a disappointment of a book though, if I'm being honest.
Yep. All right. Moving right along, we've got Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise #1, written and drawn by Trad Moore. So Casey, what'd you think of this?
I actually liked it. What'd you think?
Um, I liked it more than I didn't like it. The only
Like,
thing is like I think some spots it's just weird to be weird, and that's kind of annoying.
I mean,
Um, and
okay,
I'm not talking about the art. I'm talking about like the dialogue.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, we all know that Tradmore is not really my thing, but he
mm-hmm,
has some really cool design choices with like the Elden Ring style knights there towards the end, or you know, that creepy forest with the deer in it. Like, there's plenty of good stuff here. I just want stuff to start to make sense and not be weird just to be like, oh, it's just a trippy Doctor Strange book. You know,
mm-hmm.
that's where I'm at
I
with it.
I liked it a good deal. My main problem with it, it's like this book, I'm not a big fan when they do this, but this could have been helped a lot had it had a second artist for the regular stuff because the trippy stuff looks wonderful. But then when it's like, oh, he's in the forest and this deer is a nightmare. Like the stuff that's not supposed to look weird still looks Tradmore and looks like a nightmare. Like it's not good.
Yep.
Like, and it's not, I mean, it's just his style. But I mean, like this stuff's perfect for like a weird, trippy Doctor Strange book. And then like that, like that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about that. But then when it's like a nice moment with his little deer friend, find that picture, and then so you can be like this moment. This shouldn't be that strange looking. Like that takes away from when stuff gets extra trippy, like a few pages over. And I mean, like having just everything look like an acid trip, it makes makes these extra moments not as weird. So like even this moment with the deer, it's just like, oh yeah, this deer looks like it could get up and walk away and say, "Don't ever talk to my son again," like smack him. Like it could do that at any moment because his art is just like that.
Yeah.
And the story itself, it's fine, but this is very much a visual book, so like the big fights are what make it. And so for that, I'm gonna give it like an 8. I really like the highs were very high for me.
Okay. I think I'm at a 6.5 on it.
I got you, man. Okay, so Hitomi number 2, and this is by HS Tack with art by Isabella Mazzanti. So we never got to talk about the first issue. What do you think of the first issue? Really quick.
Yeah, I loved it.
That's what I figured. I'm not surprised. I figured.
Yeah.
Uh, so opinion on this one about the same.
Yep. Yep. I love the art. I like the story. I mean, we all knew that this guy was going to train this girl, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just that's how these stories go. Um, yeah, I like both characters a lot. I like the sheep and the wolf story in this. So I don't know, all of it's just really solid. Also, this variant cover, amazing.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean it's not a lot to say about this book other than you should be reading it. It's such a cool samurai type story. I'm just interested in seeing where it goes. Like I'm just very much invested in this story. I think it's really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna give it probably a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's about where I'm at too. All right. Next is Daredevil number 5, and it's written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Raphael De La Torre. So, which the outside says Chichetto. I thought that was kind of weird.
It is weird.
But anyway, I like this a lot.
Same.
Honestly, I guess I don't know if it is Chichetto or De La Torre because both are like really good.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I love the art.
I think it's because Chichetto did the cover art, maybe.
Right, yeah, I mean
So
that could
that's
be. It's
because
just
I mean
a
that's my only guess.
and
But
yeah.
yeah, so this is a big prison break issue. They have a bunch of super powered baddies on the raft that they're bringing in to be part of the Fist. Uh, it's pretty dope. Some of the people and like they get probably I'm gonna say Daredevil's most deadly rogue is now teaming up with them. If you caught that.
Hold on, because I don't think I did. Oh, you're talking about Stealth Man.
I am. Yes. So
I
I'm
remember
I'm
I read this earlier today, and he was like, "I'm Gregory Stiltman," and I'm like, "Oh, Casey's gonna love this."
yeah, I'm so excited. And then we also get US agent fighting Daredevil. Pretty sweet. I knew he wouldn't, but I was really pulling for US agent to join up with the
Yeah,
Fist.
I was too.
And then we get the whole Goldie and then the next issue we're gonna have the Avengers versus Daredevil, which should be just awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just really loving this series.
Also, that preview cover of Elektra with a katana and a couple of sais jammed into Stark's helmet. It's just like, oh, I always love watching Tony getting his ass kicked. So I really hope that that happens next issue.
Dude, I'm thinking about trying to pick up the next Iron Man book that comes out. So you should too, so then you could see him get his butt kicked weekly
That's true.
or
But
monthly.
I don't think they'd let him lose that much.
I mean, he'll lose like and then like win at the end of the arc.
Okay, I'll just drop it before the end of
Yeah.
the arc.
But
But yeah, I'm gonna give that like a 10. Like I
yeah,
really liked it.
yeah. I'm probably at a 10 too. The only thing that I didn't like is the last person on the like I'm not sure how I feel about that character.
Wait, which character?
The last person where he's like looking at the where Daredevil's walking through the prison and he's like there's that person there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird too.
I mean, I'm not surprised he's there because like he's gonna have a big role, but I just don't like that character very much. So
Yeah. And this is gonna sound crazy because of what book we have next, but Daredevil gets my pick of the week.
yeah, that probably would have been mine too, had it not been, what's the furthest place from here or Casey's hipster book. Okay, so next up, it's Action Comics 1049 by Philip Kennedy Johnson with Mike Perkins on the art. And then we also get the backup story I think this is by Philip Kennedy Johnson with David Lapham on the art. And opinions on this.
Okay, so the big like one of the big things, some panels it's amazing, but in
Mm-hmm.
general, I don't like the art.
Yeah, same.
The Metallo stuff is really cool. And then there's like one close up of Orion that's cool. Other than that, I think like body proportions are weird and faces are weird, and I just don't care for it.
Yeah, and
Now,
then there's one part with the story that I didn't like, some that Superman did that I did not care for personally,
oh,
too.
what is that?
So you remember that part? I got it pulled up now where he's talking to the people on War World,
Uh-huh.
and then like he shoots his heat vision out, and it looks like he just like
Yeah.
burns the S into their armor.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's really like that seems really out of character for him to be like, look, get this on there. I also like to think that's like, oh shit, it's on.
Oh, I know, dude. I was thinking like, what if he's off by a
Yeah, I
centimeter?
mean he's Superman. He's not gonna be off by a centimeter, but
I
still,
know.
it's just like you do know like these people were like chained up and like had to like hold the moniker like Mongols thing, and then like now he's like, yeah, I'm branding you with my signature now.
Right.
So you guys know you're my property.
Yeah, I mean, apart from that overall, though, I think everything else was great. I mean, really what he says to the people is really good and like a very Superman moment. And like what he said when he's talking to the kid. I also really I like how Johnson writes Luther a lot.
Mm-hmm. Makes him
And
a straight bastard.
yeah, yeah. And the Metallo stuff is really cool too. Now here's
And
my question. Do you think Manchester Black is like actually telling Superman what's going on with Lex, but Lex just thinks that he's the agent for
so
Lex, you know what I mean?
now, well, after this part, I don't think he was the agent for Lex. I think Lex wanted to see him, and now Lex is taking, had shit planned out and is like is 100% just in control. I think there must be a different leak in that group, which
Okay.
if I'm to guess now, it's probably Mac because they were not very happy with losing their one person. So
Yeah.
very well could be Mac. One thing I did like, there was one part, and it's just kind of funny. Also, it's really like kind of a great Superman moment because Superman always inspires people, when he's like talking, he's like, these kids are here by my choice or with me by choice. And as you've just learned, you couldn't take them if you tried. Then it's like Superman, Lois, the two kids, and then Bibbo. He's like, oh, I'm gonna kick the shit out of this new god.
I know, dude. It was so funny.
But I mean, that's the thing though. It's like with Superman, it's like, yes, anyone that's been around him, like in the comics, like 100%, they would go to Apocalypse. So, even if they are just a human, to like that's on the in Kingdom Come. I think like Barda's kid said, it's like I would follow that man to the pits of Apocalypse, and
Right.
it's like, yeah, that stands up with the way that Philip Kennedy Johnson writes them, so it works.
Agreed. So what would you give it?
uh Probably 8.5. The art did take me back, and there was like I said, the little moments and the backup story. It just did not do it for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Right
It's
on,
it's
man.
it's hard to hate on it too much because
Yeah.
it's one of the best.
Okay. So what are you excited for in the coming weeks, man?
So Justice Society of America for sure. I'll say the Briar for sure, because that first issue was great, and also it's been quite a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
And I want to say Strange, because there's really not much out this next
You gonna
week.
check out Justice Society?
That was the first one I said.
Oh, sorry. Must have been mishearing. I'm gonna go with the Godzilla Rivals versus Gigan one shot. That should be pretty sweet. Gonna go Planet Hulk World Breaker, and then I'll say Blue Beetle Graduation Day. Should be pretty cool. And hey, Jake, if it's okay with you, when we do the Fantastic Four, I'm gonna switch it up to a different one this week because I forgot that thanks when I wrote this one out, I forgot Thanksgiving was already. So here's what we're gonna do. You invited four superheroes over, or comic book characters over for your Thanksgiving dinner, and they all have to bring one item. One of them has to bring a turkey. One has to bring, what do you eat on Thanksgiving? We probably eat different things.
Mashed potatoes.
One has to bring mashed potatoes. One has to bring a pie of choice. And do you have noodles? Are you a
It
noodle
it
household?
it depends on which house I go to, but I will say yes, noodles for
Okay.
sure.
So then one has to bring noodles, or if you are like, I'd rather have a casserole of some type instead, you can do that too.
Sure. Um, I had to write those out so I didn't forget. Um, the person that I want bringing the turkey is probably Alfred. I just
Yeah,
feel like he's the most likely to not fuck anything up.
right on.
um, yeah, for hmm, man, this is like even harder than the other one, and we're on the spot.
Sorry, man.
That's all right. Um, Mashed potatoes. I feel like okay, so I'm gonna go with noodles. I'm gonna say Superman, just because I feel like at some point he would have learned to make noodles from scratch from Ma.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
so and I want the noodles to be good.
Yeah.
Um, a pie. This one might be a little silly, but I'll say like Harley Quinn, because she like always like has pies to throw at people.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like maybe she knows how to make one at this point.
Hmm.
And wow, I've really gone all DC, huh? Well, I might as well finish it out, DC then for mashed potatoes. I'll say like Booster Gold, but I feel like he would do like instant mashed potato flakes. He wouldn't
Oh
actually
yeah.
do potatoes.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There we go. Okay, so for me, the person that would be bringing the turkey, I would have Bawana Beast. So he can talk to them. So he could like lure them in. And he also has the ability to merge up to four animals together. So he would get like the turkey, a duck, a chicken, and then I don't know, a pig. So we get the bacon flavor too, and just merge them all together and then just like lure it in, then slaughter it and make me my turkey, turducken pig.
That's a solid answer.
Thanks, man. And then potatoes. I'm gonna go with oh, I'm trying to think of someone that can just really smash a strong guy just because he can really smash them potatoes up really good. I also think he'd be fun to hang out with. It's like you skip leg day too? Cool. Um and then for noodles, I'm gonna go with trying to think of someone that would do a good noodle dish. Trying to, I'm gonna, I'm gonna go Ma Kent because again, you know that lady knows how to make noodles. You've seen her arms; she knows how to make noodles. And and then for the pie, I'm gonna say Puck. I don't know. He's been alive for a while. He knows how to. He probably has had a good pie or two. He could probably make a good pumpkin.
I mean, can't all Canadians bake a pie? Isn't that like a thing?
I mean, probably.
All right. Well, that was
But
fun. That was
it
fun. I
was.
like how we'd have two Kents coming over.
Yeah. It's like that's why that I was like, Ma Kent, you gotta come over and make the noodles. And Superman's like, oh hey, what we're doing for Thanksgiving? And you're like, well, you have to do your own thing. I'm going over to Casey. So he's like, hey Jake, can I come over?
Yeah, it's definitely who he's coming to. All right, folks. And with that, we are at the end of the episode. So closing plugs, if you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's 2 Worlds Podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, like go down below and tell us who you think would make the best Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe you're like, nah, Metamorpho. He could just transform in each part, so we just cut the pieces off and nibble them on up. And I'll say, you need help. But on that note, we'd love to stay in chat, but I need to make sure Jake stops eating all this food because he is a fat man and I am Jake. Bye, guys.
Bye.